Hello friends, welcome back. This is Emmanuel Mendu. In this video, I will show you how to use a radio button list in Razor Pages. Okay, so let's create a new project. So as usual in my previous videos, I'm explaining the form fields. So radio button list. So I click create on .NET 8.0. So once the project is created, I directly go into the index CSHTML and add some sort of code which will create a radio button list. Okay, so I just go back to my previous videos and follow the series of form fields, so you will know all the basic controls, how to use and how to retrieve and how to save the data. So I'll remove the content and I'll create a form tag which has a button submit button. Okay, and the method will be the post. So inside I will add a basic input control which is type of radio. So because we need a radio button list, so then I will go over the ID and etc. So for now, what we do is, so let's just go to our .cs and just add a on post handler. So let's put a breakpoint here. I don't do anything, I just go and run the program. Let's see how many radio buttons we can see on the website. I know we did not add any text or anything else, um, but let's go and see what we see now. So we see one radio button I can select, but I cannot unselect it. So let's close it and go back to our design. So currently I did not add any text, so you can say sample text as a label. I'm just putting a breakpoint so that submit button will go a little further. Okay, let me run now. So I see a sample text retrieve button here. So in this video we are focusing on the list. So in order to create a list, I'll go with the for loop, and I as a iteration I will be using less than 2. Let's say if I want to show 2 radio button list. Okay, so now I will use a label control as a sample text. Okay, so let me run this time. Let's see. So it will iterate 2 times and it will display 2 um, sample text radio button. So in order to, if you want, you can put a breakpoint between every label. That way, um, the text will come down. Let me run this say. So you can have it this way. So currently I can select 2 things. So if I want to select only one as a grouping, so we can put a name tag, something like status. I will use status as a name tag between 2 radio buttons. So let me show you how that looks. So now if I click on it, so it will select only one option. Either one is selected. If you go to inspect and see how the HTML is formed, there is a input with type radio and the name as status, and we have a static text. Okay, so this is how you render the text or static elements like that. So you can have this way also, like if you want to show um, the the ID sample text 1 and 2 like that, you can do that one also here. So if you see 0 and 1, so that way it will differentiate what is not, what is selected, what. Um, okay, so if you want to retrieve this information here, so we got a status as our name of the radio button. So now let me create a property like my previous video I showed you, this one. Let's see, I will say status. Okay, so let me run and see now, because I did not give the value yet. Let's see what it will show. So if I go to the status, it says still null. So let me stop this program and let me give some value to the radio, every radio button. Okay, this time I will give a value tag I. Okay, because I is 0 and 1. So for a first radio button the value will be 0, and the second button will be 1. So this still says 0 because I did not add the bind property. Let me put bind property. This time go ahead and run it. Let's see if the status, we can retrieve that what is checked. So now if I select the first option and submit, now the breakpoint is hit and the value is 0 now. Okay, let me go back and rerun it. This time I'll select second one, so submit. The status is 1. So you can use the that status value and save it into the database, or you can do whatever you want with that. So now this has static. I just played around in the um, on the CSS HTML, but if you want a list which is coming from the database, you can render it and you can do the code. Let me show you one example. Let me create a class, public class, let's say. So vendors, I'll just say vendors. So I will have ID property and a name property, and we can have multiple properties if you want. Let me close this tag, and in the main property, um, let me create another property with a list of vendors. Okay, before I forget, I will add the bind property for this one. So this list of vendors, um, for now I will add the content here only, but basically you will be getting from this list from the database or somewhere. Okay, so let me create a new vendor information. So first I will give ID, comma, name, Walmart. So the same thing I will copy. This time ID I will give 2 and Apple. So this time this is 3 and Amazon. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm just preparing a list so that I can loop it on the in this iteration. So if I say model dot that list dot count. Okay, so it will iterate that much count Let me, I don't know why the color. Yeah. So the count of the list, the iteration will happen. And currently I'm not taking this name. Let me take that one. So the status I will leave as is. And for I, this time what I will do, I will use model dot list of vendor I dot id. So the for every radio button I'm taking from the class. I mean the property, model property. Okay, and the text also. What you can do to it, like you can put the text instead of static. You can pull it from the collection. Okay. So let's see. Let me run and see how this one looks like. So it says Walmart, Amazon, Apple. So if I select one of the item is I only be selected because this is a radio button. The behavior will be you can select at least one. So here the HTML how it rendered like the input and label input and label like that. Okay. So here the another thing like you can see the status. So sorry, I should have showed you guys like what will be the status. Now if I select Amazon and submit, um, so the status it says 3. So the because Amazon I selected it is 3. um, so if you want to select it, so you can use check it as a one boolean variable in the collection, so that in the from the database you will be getting that um, value. Sorry, I'll say is check. So for Walmart I will say true. For list all I will say false. Now in the CSHTML there is a check property where you can say copy the same exact one and just say is check. Okay. So this time what I'm let me run and see. So if that does Walmart piece by default is it selected or not, like we can see. So this is how you can bind the radio button list um, from the code behind. So if you want to um, when you are selecting the radio button, like so when you click on the Walmart, is this is not working, right? So we need to, if in order to give the link between the label and this one. So here for now what I will do is I will create a variable str something like that, um, and this time I'll say status less some unique ID. Maybe for this list the unique ID will be this ID. So here I will say ID equal to str. The same thing, this label is for that ID str. So what I'm doing is we may have multiple radio button list in the same page. To make it uniqueness, I'm just created one variable so that I can add as a ID and I can tag this label to that ID. So now when you go and run the program, so this time when you click on the label text also, the radio button will be worked. You see. So this is how you work on the radio button list. Um, I hope you understand all the basics and how to retrieve and how to bind the radio button list. Please subscribe to my channel for more videos. I'll be I'll try to cover all the form fields in the next videos also. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.